The first would be...
What if it was before the makeup? I mean, what started everything? That's what we're talking about. What started
it would have been the special effects. I mean, that's the magic of it. That's obviously what got me interested in wanting to do anything that has to do with filmmaking. And I guess I could pin it down to seeing Planet of the Apes the first time, you know, when I was maybe, I don't know, 8 years old. And they ran it on, you know, on TV and did the behind the scenes stuff right after the movie, which is kind of unusual for, you know, something being run on TV like that, way before the advent of DVDs and video. So when I saw that, and and they had these big molds, I remember them saying, you know, the mold for the, you know, the ape faces weighed, you know, up to 50 pounds, and I didn't even know what a mold was, but I could see, you know, what it was. I'd never heard of that before, and it just totally fascinated me, you know. And then flash forward, I guess, to 1981, and seeing American Werewolf in London in the theater, because I duped my mom into
wow.
And you know, seeing the transformation and specifically seeing the hands stretching, I was like, wow, you know, I got to do that. I mean, more than anything, I wanted to transform into a werewolf. It's not like I wanted to make somebody else. I wanted to be the werewolf, but the next best thing is, you know, doing it, I guess, with special effects.
Now that's pretty spectacular that you were able to actually see an American Werewolf in London in the theater. To me, the theater going experience is that's the ultimate litmus test. That's the true ultimate experience of the movie, is being there in the dark, where for 2 hours there are no phone calls, there's no email. Mm-hmm. You know, just during those days, you were just lost for that 2 hours. When you're a kid, 2 hours is like an eternity. And you're just there for that time, and you are sucked into that world, that story, whatever it is that's presented to you. I never saw an American Werewolf in London growing up. I just knew from everyone else it was scary as hell. I just knew that it had a real werewolf in it, just from what everyone said.
I missed The Howling, and I remember talking to schoolmates, you know, who had seen it, you know, a couple of guys, and I was just so envious, and, you know, we just talked about it endlessly, because I just had the idea that it was, you know, so much better maybe than American Werewolf, but I had nothing to base that on other than what they were telling me, so I had to catch that on video.
Well, you're right. I actually saw The Howling on TV. But before we digress too much, and that was back when on TV they would just show everything. They would have them say everything. They would just, you know, bleep it out if it was a curse word, or replace it, or if it was nudity, they would just blur the boobs or something. You know, that was crazy.
I actually saw it unblurred on, I think it was TV 48 when I lived in King, which is near Winston-Salem. They showed uncut Friday the 13th, like all the way up through maybe number 4, The Howling, stuff like that, completely uncut on Channel 48.
Fantastic.